Okay, hello people. Hello. So, today this is going to be kind of a different video. I've been kind of not making anime manga reviews. I'm still watching anime. I just got done watching Baki and all that. Baki is actually really crazy at the moment. Just got done watching the 12 episodes. I think that was on Netflix. And I got to say, um Hanma Baki. Jesus. Also, I swear to God, the ogre fucking killing that giant dinosaur elephant. God. Like, I haven't read the manga, obviously. So, obviously, at the very end, spoilers, they find, like, prehistoric, I think, like, Baki's ancestor fighting a fucking dinosaur or T-Rex. Yeah, crazy shit. So, I'm looking forward to, the next, I think, half of Baki or whatever. But yeah, so enough of that. Enough of me talking about anime that I'm watching right now. Um, let's talk about how China is restricting things, censoring things. They're kind of getting trigger happy with censorship, kind of like how woke Hollywood or woke media, those idiot buffoons are trying to censor everything for the bullshit that they're doing. Um, my views on like woke media and whatnot. I hate wokeness. It's really stupid and makes no sense. Um, it shouldn't be a diversity and inclusion. It should be diversity of story and genre and that type of thing. Basically, what manga is doing. Don't know what the hell comics are doing and whatnot. But same goes for video games and film in general. Just like how Venom, I haven't watched it yet. I'm trying to find some time to go out and watch it because right now I am busy as hell. Just even trying to segment this into my day at the moment, or my week at the moment. Um, yeah, Black Widow, absolute dog trash. Shang-Chi, actually pretty good. I think I gave it like an 8 out of 10. Honestly, I gave Black Widow like a 5, but I think I was being too nice. Honestly, I would bump that down to like a 3. Um, and also Lucifer season 6. While I absolutely like really loved watching Lucifer, season 1, season 2, and then after that it was just a downhill battle from that. I thought Lucifer was really good. Of course, um, I know the comics of Lucifer. I've read some of them. I know that he's involved with Sandman and the mystical parts of the DC universe, like the Spectre and whatnot. Wait, no, the Presence, and whatnot. I think the Spectre is Marvel. Is it? I don't remember. But yeah, we have all those comics, and of course Lucifer kind of for Netflix. Lucifer kind of takes its own little turn. It has a like detective cop dynamic, which is very typical, because obviously they wouldn't know what to do with a show like that, with a character like Lucifer, and so they just put it in a cop and what was Lucifer, consultant type of thing, which was okay. But this is not a video talking about what was good about Lucifer. This is a video about China and their little trigger happy censorshipness. Of course, if you guys don't know, China has put a ban or a limit on how much minors, which are just kids under 18, can play games. So they can only play games. What is wrong with my mouth today? They can only play games for like 3 hours a week, and that's from 8 to 9 on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then nothing else. So they either have to go outside, play, or read, or do homework and all that. So obviously they're trying to crack down on some bullshit. And also that leads me to think that, China as a region, as far as I know, they're a very dominant region in League of Legends. And of course, I'll talk about their censorship thing in a bit more, but let me talk about League of Legends and China as a region that's really strong at the moment. Um, with their whole like 3 hours a week little business bull crap. Um, all their like 16 to like 17 kids, or they're even 14 to 17, that are most likely like I know there are a lot of kids who are really good at League of Legends. Like there are freaking 12-year-olds and 14-year-olds in North America who are fucking challenger. Like think about that for a moment. Kids who are 12 to 14 or 16 or whatever are beating people who are like in their middle 20s to 30s uh in challenger, and they play just as good if not better than them. While they might not be like intelligent or whatever, their intelligence in the game is just that crazy that they're freaking challenger. And for League of Legends, challenger is the highest level for people who don't know. um so yeah, I think China is going to kill their entire player base of diamonds in the rough pro players. I think their region may or may not die. I know that China's really good at freaking League of Legends. I don't know if they're good at any other esports because I don't really follow any other esports. Um, the only other region that I follow esports for the most part is Korea, North America. I know we're really good at Valorant, but we lost to Europe, I think, just in the last Berlin thing for Valorant. Dota, I don't know. I used to play a lot of Dota. The last time I remember, it was China that won. That whatever thing that Dota has for like a worlds type of thing. I know that South Korea is really good at a bunch of freaking games. I think Overwatch or something, but I think the North American region is the god of Overwatch at the moment. Don't remember, but yeah. So obviously, China has a lot of talent. Same goes for an NA, but ain't nobody actively like doing actual searches for kids who are really good at the game, other than probably C9, Cloud9. As far as I know, they're the only organization that actually actively looks for talent. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this article talking about China's strict guidelines for video games. And I have already gone over this quite a bit. I've read it and whatnot. There's also another article called How to Be Censored in China, a brief filmmaking guide that was made in 2011, November 30th of 2011. And I think it was down here. Yep. Films containing any of the following content must be cut or altered. So I'll also be reviewing that in this video. And of course, with the whole, breakdown of entertainment, this is a rumor. So as most people know, rumor is just a rumor. Doesn't mean it's true or it has already happened, but it has come from a source somewhere somehow, and people think it to be true. Of course, it's a rumor, so it's obviously to be seen. So I won't be reading all of this article. You guys can read this article for yourself on cvr.com. It's just called Reported Detail, China Strict Game Guidelines, right? The title. So yeah, let me see if I remember the parts where they actually talk about like the guidelines. Let's see. Hinting at a level of control and censorship Chinese authorities are imposing on developers. Where was it? Specified in a memo from a recent internal training course organized for developers by the Chinese State's Gaming Association, compliance with these guidelines and a display of a correct set of values are necessary in order to ensure games will be approved in the future. So they obviously know that culture and gaming plays a lot in culture with this original Naruto before it became Shippuden for some reason. They know that games are a big influence in culture, so they're trying to influence the culture through entertainment. And as everybody can probably reminisce or remember, you probably grew up watching certain actors, or you probably grew up watching certain types of films. I grew up watching a lot of, Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Donnie Yen, Tony Jaa, a lot more other actors, Bruce Lee, And yeah, that's kind of what shaped me to how I am today. You could say, in a way, a lot of Clint Eastwood, a lot of um, Superman, Batman, a lot of comics and manga, Naruto, Fairy Tail, Bleach, the Three Kings, One Piece, one of the Three Kings. Not Fairy Tail, of course, but yeah. So obviously, they know that entertainment plays a lot in culture, and people are a bit more of a monkey see, monkey do. If you guys know that term, basically what we say, what kids do, monkey see, monkey do, because if you have little kids or little nephews or cousins that see you do something or you say something, they will imitate you. And I have a cousin who, back in the day, he used to say a lot of obscene words, and so now I have a little nephew who says a lot of obscene words, which is very, very bad. Yeah. Not good. But, so of course, China knows that entertainment influences cultures, and they're trying to influence the culture directly with all of these guidelines in China. Are necessary in order to ensure games will be approved in the future. While these guidelines may seem broad, the memo has also stated that the rules will be implemented in a much more stricter and more specified ways. For example, video games set in a post-apocalyptic world in which survival depends on killing, zombie games like Left 4 Dead or The Walking Dead and whatnot. Also, I'm guessing these also apply to film and whatnot as well. Since this article from 2011 is just for film, and this is obviously new set of rules and guidelines. I don't know if this will also bleed over into the film industry, that I don't really know much about either, but we will see. What was it? So yeah, depends on killing will not be likely to pass. So zombie games, zombie movies, whatnot, which will not likely be shown in China. Neither will video games that allow players to make certain choices. Some games have blurred moral boundaries. Okay, players can choose either to be either good or evil, but we don't think that games should give players this choice, and this must be altered. The memo read. Okay, so they think that the blurred boundaries are like you can choose to be evil, you can choose to be bad. They want good guys to be good guys, bad guys to be bad guys, and you always have to choose to be the good guy. That's probably what they're trying to say. So basically, they're trying to pull into the whole, like what is it? Genshin Impact, I guess, is a good way of putting things. You're just the good guy in there. You're trying to fight evil. That's basically what it is. But also, I've heard that China doesn't really like Genshin Impact and all that. But I don't know if that's true. That's just something I heard. And I think that like Genshin Impact developers were like talking about all the hate comments and whatnot they had on hate reviews or whatever they had on their game. Yeah, I don't remember. Let's see. So they obviously want good guys to be good guys, bad guys to be bad guys. They don't want things like GTA where you can basically be a bad guy, but also kind of be a good guy, I guess, in a way, and whatnot. So, yeah, China, they probably need to flesh out things. It was previously reported, along with film and television, okay, video game characters described by Chinese authorities as effeminate males and LGBTQHCIZOP2RSKP. That's probably like a serial code number for like some toy or something. Storylines will be effectively banned from screens. So they don't want effeminate looking characters. They want dudes like Cyberpunk, Geralt of Rivia. They want Dark Souls type of things, but less killing for some reason. Or what was it? Survival depends on killing. But also I think there's also something about violence, which I'll get to in a bit. What was it? So yeah, they don't want female looking men or pussy men. They want Geralds of Riviards, who are boss men and will pretty much destroy everything, or basically Superman and Batman, or the Arkham series. They'd rather have that, but we'll get on more about that in a bit. The memo also provided more details on this ban, stating if regulators can't tell the character's gender immediately, so basically make sure your characters look male or female, because there ain't no other gender than that. The setting of the characters could be considered red flags and what? The setting of the characters could be considered and red flags will be raised. Okay, so basically what Japan, China, some Korean games, well, basically a majority of the Korean games are doing, basically having female characters, beautiful, look like females, they have the hourglass shape, and then men who are bulky, muscular, and look like dudes, with like beards and whatnot, and of course maybe scars over their face and eye patches like Snake. What was it? Snake over here. So yeah, they apparently don't want characters who kind of look like K-pop stars and whatnot. If K-pop stars are considered under effeminate males again, and of course drag queens and whatnot are considered under this and whatnot. So of course, which is I think something I saw in GTA. They obviously don't want that. And of course I've heard some news about, or heard news, not really, about the woke left, which I'm not a political person, but that's the words I will use. The woke left, or the radical left, talking about how they should take out, what was it? The drag queens or whatever from GTA, because people in GTA just like try and kill them, and whatnot. So, people will be people on inside games. Let's see. This applies to male characters dressed or behaving like a woman. Yeah, basically. So they obviously don't want this. They obviously don't want either of these two either, which I think, I don't know why people care so much about sexual orientation and the color of your skin, because I care more about character and if you're a good person or not. So I have no idea why people are like this. Let's see. Settings were also covered in the memo, specifically historical settings, which the memo stated should not distort facts or deliberately provoke controversy. So something YouTube has gotten rid of, conspiracy theory videos, which honestly I watched a lot of, and some of them were insightful, some of them were just plain stupid. A lot of the alien ones I think were like pretty stupid, because especially with the whole freaking the Pentagon releasing alien footage. And then I watched Cordo Crew. If you guys know who they are, they're a bunch of like special effects guys that do like things for like movies and TV shows or something like that. And they kind of debunked all that stuff, which I like special effects. I tried dabbling in it here and there growing up, but yeah, so that kind of thing, I was just like, yeah, I can't believe footage and whatnot, because sometimes they can be edited very easily, especially in this day and age. So yeah. Let's see. Historical figures with established narratives must not be refashioned. So don't gender swap historical figures, which is what Japan does a lot. Especially like gods and whatnot. If you guys know freaking, what was it? Don Machi, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon, or the Fate series, or what other series were there that they like gender swapped historical figures? But yeah, they just don't want that. I think there was also something more. Furthermore, the memo specifically warned against video games depicting any version of the Nazi Germany or Japan, and any game that encourages players to kill barbarians could be seen as spreading colonialism. What? Okay. That's a bit radical. Even though, like, just doing this, even though a lot of games do that, like, what were games that had to do that? Neo is one of them, 100%. Most likely killing pirates, though. Barbarians, though. Did I do that in Skyrim? I don't remember playing a lot of Skyrim. I just remember killing the Black Dragon, so I guess you could say I played a lot of it. But after I killed it once, I stopped playing Skyrim. Um, oh yeah, and then also I turned myself into a werewolf. I wanted to be a vampire, but I was like, a werewolf cooler. But yeah, so I don't know if I killed barbarians in Skyrim or not. But yeah, so apparently that spreads colonialism, which kind of makes no sense in my mind because it's part of a quest and you just do the quest. I don't really see it as that, but okay. While games featuring Japanese warlords could be seen as glorifying militarism. Like, okay? Like, oh, my ear just went silent. But okay. I'm not, okay, so I don't really care to know. I'm kind of ignorant about this kind of stuff. I forgot what even militarism even meant. I can kind of guess what it means by just knowing the word Japanese warlords and of course Oda Nobunaga. That's been again and again used in Japanese games like Neo, like freaking what was it? In Sengoku Basuda, I think it was that anime. Also, not Dynasty Warriors. What was it? I forget. But there's a lot of stuff with Japanese warlords. And like Oda Nobunaga is something that a lot of people use in Japan for games. So apparently using Japanese warlords as, seen in China as militarism. Oddly, the memo also seemingly warned against creating games that resembled Japanese video games, even though a majority of all Chinese games look more Japanese than Japanese games. Yeah. Yeah. If you guys know a lot of like Chinese games, especially a recent one that came out that the idiots on the Twitter, there was a Japanese game that came out recently that had like an appealing looking female. Of course, the game is obviously geared towards men because, of course, why would you not have an appealing looking female if you weren't trying to appeal to the male audience? And of course, Twitter was getting up in arms over that because they're idiots. Let's see. The memo also touched on the use of religion and the use of symbols, crucifixes, and swastikas, which the only reason why swastikas are a bad thing nowadays is because of the Nazis, when you can find swastikas on a lot of Buddhist statues. And that doesn't mean that Buddhist is Nazi. It's literally just a symbol of their religion. And Nazi Germany kind of took that and turned it another way. Which is something that I found out a while ago. And I was like, wow, that's some effed up shit. Let's see. Should be used with caution according to the new guidelines. So they obviously don't want anything that's religious. So something like Neo, where you pray at a shrine, and you use like Onmyoji type stuff and ninja stuff, they obviously wouldn't want that. Let's see. The CCP government has cracked down across all forms of entertainment. Blah, blah, blah. Pressure on tech giants as Tencent, which, if you guys don't know Tencent, Tencent is like one of the biggest gaming companies in the world, especially in China. And they also have a hold on like a bunch of games. You could probably look up Tencent and what, branches they kind of branch into, and you could probably find a majority of the companies are kind of under or owned in some type of way by Tencent. So yeah, and then they also touched upon minors can only play 3 hours a week, 8 to 9, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is kind of fucked up. And okay, let me talk about their little thing about religion, or what was it? No, it's not even in this one. I'll touch upon this in a bit, but where was it? So I read this last night because I was thinking about making a video on this, and also just this article got me thinking. And I was like, hey, what they're kind of doing in industry, and so I remembered League of Legends, Wild Rift, which is the mobile versions of League of Legends for people who don't know. They released a new character called Thresh, and that character, obviously, China doesn't like that character because of the design of the character, which that character has been that way for many years. And of course, China's League of Legends scene, which of course China is a really big region in League of Legends, very strong region, better than North America, which we are just a retirement region at this point. Um, they pretty much had to censor Thresh's head. For people who don't know who Thresh is, let me pull a picture. Yeah, so this is Thresh for you guys. And he has like a skull head with tendrils. And then this is New Thresh. Now again, we've had time and time again, um, you know, pretty boy characters, you could say. And of course, I am not one of those people who will say like, "Oh, I don't want no more pretty boy characters." And of course, this was like part of the Spear Blossom thing, and that worked. But once we started getting heroes like Akshan, Akshan, um, more pretty boy characters, and then we had, of course, which a big event was over, Viego, um, and pretty boys again, and then we had Lilia, Lilia, LOL. I'm pretty sure I spelled that wrong, but yeah, we had characters like Lilia, and if you just cut out the bottom half, oh my god, what the hell is that? Oh no, furries. Kill myself. Yeah, so you have like, pleasantly appealing female characters and whatnot. And we have like, good looking men. So, of course, we are tired of that in the freaking, League of Legends community. So when we got the character Vex, we were like, oh, that's awesome. That's cool. And then again, for me, I'm just like, Yordle's cool. The day when we have 10 Yordles, that'll be awesome. But, at this point in time, I'm just like, not really a monster, but, it's a Yordle, cool, but I'd rather have, like, a serious monster from, like, the Void or something like that, something like Maokai or something. So, Vex was kind of whatever for me. But let me get back to China's version of Thresh. What's Thresh? I'm pretty sure I'm being dumb right now. What is it? Or was it? Yes, this is the Chinese version of Thresh, where they basically made his face into like a metal face, and then all the little bones and whatnot, tendrils on his head were chains. And so they had to not use this. Instead, for Wild Rift, they made this. For Wild Rift, when they could have just, used this. So China is really, I don't know what you would call it, superstitious, but they don't like skulls. And, well, where the heck was it? What was it? Where was it? Supernatural. Let me see if I can find it. Superstition, religion. Can I find supernatural? Supernatural. All right. Showing contents of the M-word. I don't know if I'll say this and YouTube will recognize this, but I don't really want to say it. The M-word. Violence, terror, ghost, and the supernatural. Yeah, so that's something that China does not like. And so that's why Thresh, when he was getting released onto the Wild Rift game, they had to create this for Thresh. And of course, they made a whole ass little thing, trailer for it, for the skin, and people were like, oh, that's cool. But for me, I'm just like, yeah, I don't care. I don't really play a lot of Thresh. I have a friend who plays a lot of Thresh, and he was like, kind of don't care about that skin. Kind of ugly. But yeah, so let's go ahead and read through this, even though I kind of already talked about this down here. How long is it? 30 minutes already. Jesus. All right. So I'm going to try and make this quick. You guys can kind of read for yourselves. Let me kind of zoom this in a bit. But yeah, films containing any of the following content must be cut or altered. So this is from 2011. Don't know if this still holds up now. I don't think I will get to Jackie Chan, Jet Li, and all that. But you guys can read this article for yourselves. Pretty much, this article is kind of talking about how a guy who works in the industry kind of talked about how Jet Li, among Jackie Chan, among a bunch of other martial arts movie actors, will get their films canceled and whatnot, and how Chinese people who have dual citizenship are considered abandoning China and the Chinese culture, which kind of excessive and makes no sense, but okay. Yeah. So you guys can find this article, read it for yourselves. It's interesting to say the least. But yeah, so let's go ahead and look through the films containing into the following content must be cut or altered. Distorting Chinese civilization and history, seriously departing from historical truth. So they don't want you like changing up history, saying, what was it? I don't know what example to put for this. Whatever. Distorting the history of other countries, disrespecting other civilizations and customs. So, respect the history of other countries. Respect the civilizations and customs of other countries. That's a good thing. You should be respecting other countries and their customs and civilizations. You shouldn't be distorting the truth and whatnot. Oh yeah, Assassin's Creed makes me think of this, like distorting history a tiny bit. Assassin's Creed, I would say like kind of adds its own little flair to history, but I don't know what argument you would make for it. Let's see. Disparaging the image of revolutionary leaders, heroes, and important historical figures. So obviously, don't make Perseus or Hercules from Greek myth into females and then make them lesbians, something like that. Making Perseus freaking falling in love with Medusa or something like that, which I'm sure has already happened and it's probably really stupid. But yeah, they obviously don't want historical figures and heroes to be seen as something stupid and dumb, and evil. Unless they were actually super evil and killed tons and loads of people for the wrong reasons, kind of like Hitler. Which he's not a hero, but he is a historical figure and a very evil one at that. Tampering with Chinese or foreign classics and distorting the image of important figures portrayed therein. So, pretty much saying, don't take classics, something like Shakespeare. Let's do Romeo and Juliet. Don't make Romeo a mass murderer and don't make Juliet a psychopathic prostitute. Don't freaking do that. I was going to make something that for some reason people really care about, which is sexual orientation. I was going to say something about that, but I was like, nah, that would be really stupid to say again. But yeah, so don't be making like Romeo a mass murderer and whatnot. Disparaging the image of the People's Army, armed police, public security organ, or judiciary. So don't be a fucking idiot and go and saying defund the police. Because you're defunding the police, you're actually causing more problems. Doing this kind of thing is really stupid. Because, at the end of the day, cops are there to, help you. And, of course, there are obviously bad cops, but not all cops are bad. And, you shouldn't let the small few, ruin the many. So, yeah. Showing obscene and vulgar content, exposing scenes of promiscuity, rape, I really don't want to say this word on YouTube, prostitution, spicy acts, don't really want to say this word either because, YouTube's been pretty dumb lately. Perversion, homo-spiciness, masturbation, and the private body parts including the male or female genitalia. That's a scientific term, so I'm pretty sure I'm good on that. Containing dirty and vulgar dialogue, songs, backgrounds, music, and sound effects. So they don't want a freaking spicy scene with Marvin Gaye, Let's Get It On in the background. Which Marvin Gaye, Let's Get It On, that's a very, very funny, entertaining song. I don't listen to it often, but I do have it on my random shuffle. Showing contents of that murder, violence, terror, ghost, I already said all this. Supernatural, distorting value judgment between truth and lies. So don't make obvious truths lies, and don't make lies truths, and whatnot. Don't be gaslighting people, basically. That's what it's saying. Let's see, yeah. Basically, this is saying don't gaslight people. Don't tell people that gender is a spectrum, because it's not. Good and evil, so don't make, evil people good and don't make good people bad. Beauty and ugliness. So of course, um, people or characters like Black Widow are obviously beautiful, and characters like I'm Not Starfire is ugly as hell. Um, Righteous and unrighteous. So a white knight is a white knight. Don't make a white knight, killing, murdering thousands of people, which is something that I see a lot of Korean manhwas do actually. Mostly because the stereotype of like, you know, uh, what was it? What's the stereotype? Um, well, if you know a lot of like, uh, mangas and whatnot that involve like churches or like popes and whatnot, and they tend to be fat and ugly and tends to try and take women to their bed. Yeah, that's pretty much what it's saying. Showing deliberate expressions of remorselessness in committing crimes. So serial killer stuff. Again, serial killer stuff, criminal behaviors, exposing special investigation methods. So don't be showing things like what Fox does with like CSI. I think it's Fox. Don't really watch TV anymore. But yeah, so things like CSI, things like cops or FBI and all that stuff, don't show what methods they use. And obviously don't show details of criminal behavior like what a serial killer would do when dressing up their victim and whatnot. Showing content which invokes incitement from all this stuff, yes. So they obviously don't want this to kind of incite ways for people to do certain things, which I would say if you are a logical and sound of mind person and you don't have any mental problems and whatnot, which if you have like mental problems, do get help and all that, but they obviously don't want any of this to influence someone who has mental problems. Showing scenes of mistreating prisoners, torturing criminals or suspects. So pretty much good cop, bad cop. Don't show bad cop stuff. Show it on the side or something, I guess they're trying to say. Containing excessively horror scenes, dialogues, background music. They don't want spoopy stuff. They don't want Scooby-Doo, apparently. That's a funny example to use, but they don't want Scooby-Doo. Interesting. Propagating passive or negative outlook on life, so like the world hates me, or I'm the unluckiest person in the world, and then a piano drops on them, and then they just get out of the way at split second. So they obviously don't want that. Deliberately exaggerating the ignorance of ethnic groups or the dark side of society. So, for an example, girls who try to become idols. You can find a ton of videos on YouTube about this, and it's not a conspiracy theory, not any of like that. It's just actual straight facts. Girls who are unlucky and do not, or unlucky or unfortunate, to not become an idol and whatnot, they tend to do this and this and yeah, so that happens, it happens to, if they happen to become unlucky, so yeah, you guys can find those videos on YouTube, and there's a bunch of like Korean videos, but I'm pretty sure there's like some English speaking videos about it, or subtitled videos you guys can find on YouTube and watch those and see it for yourselves. Let's see, advertising religious extremism. So like things that happened in the US in like the 80s or 70s or 60s. A lot of crazy stuff if you guys look it up for yourself when it comes to religious extremism. Which I think a lot of people hear in like a psychology class. Stirring up ambivalence and conflicts between different religions or sects. So basically like, what is it? People who have a problem with Satanism, people who have a problem with being like atheist, or like Christians who have problems with like Satanists or whatever, don't show that type of stuff, I guess what they're trying to say. And between believers and non-believers, yeah, so like Christians versus agnostics or atheists, causing disharmony in the community. So yeah, advocating harm to the ecological environment, animal cruelty, killing or consuming nationally protected animals. So obviously, things like hunting an elephant on live television. Yeah, no, don't do that. Or things like hunting a lion on live television. Don't do that. Even though I'm sure on the black market people have done that. Or really rich people have done that. What else? Um, don't don't show spilling of chemicals into a river, things like that. Which I understand the importance of ecological environments, because well, of course, you would like to see generations in the future to see how great the environment is in the animals that live in those environments, and of course, the awesomeness that is Mother Nature, and of course, because of all the CO2 emissions and whatnot, we are kind of killing Mother Earth. But I ain't no tree hugger, but I do understand the importance of the environment and how it actually helps us, and how we are destroying it. Making room for trees and making room for buildings, not trees. Showing excessive drinking, smoking, and other bad habits. Yeah, something that a lot of people do, and it's not a good thing. And then the last one, opposing the spirit of law. So I don't know what they mean, the spirit of law, unless they mean like law, like innocent until proven guilty and all that type of stuff. But yeah, so this has been a 42-minute video, Jesus Christ. And pretty much talking about China and their guidelines. But don't know if all this stuff from 2011 still holds up to now in 2021. It's been a decade. Maybe a little over or under a decade. But yeah. So China, pretty trigger happy lately. First this, and of course you guys can find this and read it for yourselves. And now from stopping kids from playing games, which is going to destroy their region. And hopefully we get a lot of good Chinese players to come over to North America and they can retire here. Try to get the North American scene into Worlds. Let's try to get North America to the top 4 or even win Worlds for once, ever since 2018 when C9 was like the freaking second place. Which, when was the last time North America has ever won a World in League? I don't remember. I don't think ever. But yeah, so hopefully China destroys their entire region with all this stuff. But I highly doubt it for the next couple years. I think they'll be still pretty strong because of obviously all the really strong players are still here. It might take 10 years until they retire and whatnot. But yeah, so yeah, I talked about a lot of things in this video. Comment down below your thoughts. I have no other things else to say other than cracking up stupid jokes that makes no sense. But yeah, so please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I do a lot of things on my channel. So yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I do a lot of just random talk videos. Sometimes I talk about the entertainment industry, mostly comics, sometimes films and movies, and I talk mostly about anime and manga. But yeah, so please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Comment down on this video with your thoughts and whatnot. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.